and welcome to Season 2, Episode 116 of Paranormal NL Podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pocket Cast. I'm your host, Jen. For tonight's show, let's give a big shout out to who introduced me to tonight's guest. A big shout out to Jessica Newhook from Newfoundland, Canada, who was on Paranormal NL Podcast Season 2, Episode 51, when we had the total solar eclipse. Now it's time to grab a nice beverage and pull up your cozy chair and listen into your favorite podcast, Paranormal NL Podcast. It's a place where the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, and anywhere else in the world can share their paranormal experiences. PNL Podcast also believes in supporting people, places, and things to promote paranormal tourism and paranormal networking all over the world. A big thank you again to all the PNL Podcast alumni guests from Season 1 and 2, and of course our fans. We want to hear your stories. Do you have any paranormal, metaphysical, UFO, cryptid creatures, folklore, historical, books, or just tales of the weird you'd like to share as a guest on my PNL podcast? Please reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or Gmail. That's paranormal.nl.podcast@gmail.com. After your episode, you'll become part of the PNL Podcast Alumni-Network. Make sure you click on the bell or like and subscribe and follow along to whatever platform you're listening in on to get updates for new episodes. Head on over to Facebook and join our group, Paranormal NL Podcast Group. Find upcoming new PNL episodes in the featured section of the group. And we're listening to our fans. PNL Podcast is now on YouTube, Instagram, and PNL now has a Facebook page for fans who are not on Instagram for Insta Reel drops and a spot for the PNL BOG Team Investigation Go Lives. That's right. Tonight I have the season premiere of a new branch of the Paranormal NL Podcast with the new PNL BOG Team, a boots-on-the-ground paranormal investigation team doing local historic investigations in Newfoundland. Our fans asked us, and Paranormal NL Podcast merch and the new PNL BOG Team merch is now available on TeePublic with lots of cool logo designs and swag items to choose from. Now let's get on with the show tonight. I have a treat from you all tonight. I'm going to add on to the StreamYard stage tonight. I have Noah and Donna from the Torbay History House and Museum. Welcome, Noah and Donna.
Hi.
Thanks, Jennifer, so much for having us.
Thanks for being on the show tonight. Now, I have the BOG team backstage. They'll be joining us soon. But I'd like for you to both introduce what exactly to everybody in the world. We got people listening in from New Zealand, UK, United States, Canada. What is the Torbay History House and Museum, and why did y'all want the BOG team to come in and see what's going on?
Thank you very much. Well, my name is Noah, and I'm the curator here at Torbay History House and Museum. We're located just about 15 minutes north of St. John's. And the museum here in Torbay is located inside the historic presbytery in the community. And the house we're in was built about 100 years ago. Well, a little bit more than 100 years ago. It was built in 1918. And it served as the residence for the Roman Catholic clergy here in Torbay.
Right.
Over the course of its history, there have been several priests who have lived here, as well as several housekeepers who lived here in the house too. And it was used as a residence right up until 2017, when the town of Torbay purchased the house with the intention of turning it into a community museum. When we purchased the house, there wasn't really anyone who kind of had paranormal stories about the house, because very few people in the community had ever been inside. It really was the exclusive domain of the priests. And so other than some live-in housekeepers and maybe a few other folks from the community who were doing work for the parish, there was no reason for the community to be inside. But over the years, we've now been running the building as a museum since 2022. And occasionally people come in and share stories with us. The few who did do things, work at the house, visit the house, who have shared some really interesting stories with us of having supernatural encounters in here. And
Can you share some
several,
of the encounters? Yeah.
well, we've had some folks in the community who have reported hearing footsteps. We've had some folks report hearing conversations out of nowhere between entities that they can't see. We even had one account of someone claiming who was doing some work upstairs on the second floor of hearing a conversation in Latin,
In
which was
Latin. Hmm.
in which makes sense, right? It
Mhm.
is the Roman Catholic presbytery.
That's right.
But like for us as staff, when I first started working to get the museum ready to open, I was the only person working in here, and I never felt like there was any kind of presence with me, but soon after, you could hear footsteps on the staircases, and then the door leading into the basement of the house began slamming shut if it was left open. So encounters like this started to happen, and they're going all, continuing right through to, very recently, staff report encounters in the building. There's a lot of footsteps, people hearing conversations, and like conversations from like one presence to another. So there's we're kind of perplexed by it, and we're hoping that you folks are able to learn something from your investigation that might shed some light on what's happening here in the building, and hopefully then that can lead us to doing some research to see if we can flush this out.
Yes, for sure. And I wonder if you could give also, maybe Donna could chime in and give a little bit of backstory about the exterior also, like what's across the street and adjacent and whatnot. Some of the hot spots, shall we say, Donna?
Certainly. I'm Donna. I'm the heritage coordinator here, and the surrounding the building itself there is it used to be the part of a complex of buildings. So an original old stone church, and then a convent, and then a second church, a wooden church was built, all lined up in a row. And currently, none of those buildings are still around, but currently we have a prayer garden across the street from us where the nuns, some of the nuns are buried. Plus, there's a circular walkway with the Stations of the Cross. And then the old cemetery in Torbay is just beyond that with headstones and an old cross, not an old cross, a cross built out of the stone remains from the very first church, the stone church. So that's what's around the building.
And there's another cemetery across the street, right, Noah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another church, and then the pavement of the parking lot is where the old church used to stand, but is now paved over, and you're sharing that parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring on the team, the BOG team on the stage here. First, I'll go ahead and bring Jessica on. Jessica, I gave you a shout out earlier. You were in with Paranormal NL Podcast alumni member. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? And I'll bring in Taylor and then John. You're muted.
Is that better?
There you go. Yeah.
So my name is Jessica Williams Newhook, and I am a medium as well as a master's. I guess I have my degree in religious studies, with particularly focused in on lived religion in New Age studies. So that is what I bring to the team.
Welcome to the BOG team. We're glad to have you. Next, I'll bring on Taylor. Hi, Taylor. How are you doing today, Taylor? Welcome.
Hey, how are you today?
Taylor is also a member of the PNL BOG team. You want to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hey, guys. My name is Taylor Han, and I am also a medium on the team. And Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
And I'll bring Jonathan on next. This is Jonathan Noseworthy. He's a member of the PNL BOG Team.
Hello, how's it going?
And Jonathan is ghost bait and support member of our team. Now, we also had a special guest this night when we were at the Torbay History House and Museum. We also had Mike Hickey. He was on with us as a special guest. So we'll, if you see him and some of the pictures and videos, you'll understand who that is. And also we had Dan Earl, who is also a member of the PNL BOG team. He's our tech support. He's also investigator, and he's a good member of the team. And we also had Athena on with us, and Athena was doing backup support and videos, and she also did her own solo breakout session. So what I intended on doing was kind of explaining a little bit to them what we did, like how we went about this. So basically, for our investigation techniques, we, before we set up the gear and stuff, I'll get Jessica to maybe explain a little bit about what you did with the protection. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we also live streamed that night on Facebook. So some people might be asking, like, what happened beforehand and whatnot, because we did have some filming that was through my laptop, but unfortunately, of course, you couldn't see around the room a lot with the laptop, but we will be providing other videos. So Jessica might want to explain a little bit about why we did that before we went into the actual lifting of the veil and the seance.
So I just did a simple cleansing of everybody's aura using smoke. The purpose of that is just to ensure that we're not necessarily bringing in anything extra, providing spiritual protection for everybody on the team. Spirits can attach themselves to objects as well as people, as well as places. So there's a variety of ways that spirits can protect or add or come into your existence. So I just worked on making sure that we were all protected and saged that way. And I know that Jennifer also brought in some oil for everybody to put on the nape of their neck, again, to avoid attachments from coming into your etheric body, which is the body of energy that everybody holds.
A lot of people do different techniques. I mean, I know that some people use salt or other things like that, and sage is always a good thing. And, you can get sage anywhere and use it. And we can talk a bit more about that later if you want, Jessica, in the show, because we did have a lot of different things come forward. And then we actually went in and we did the lifting of the veil. We did offerings. So Donna was there and she got to see what we brought. We brought some Roman Catholic things like Bibles. Jessica and anybody else can chime in and talk about other things that we brought. And the candles were yes, no, and I don't know. When we lit them, we were asking the entities, whoever was there, the non-living, to utilize those. We also had other things like the bread wafers and the non-alcoholic wine. We did like a little communion type of thing to try to, open the veil more and trigger objects, really. Right, Jessica? Or Taylor, you want to talk a little bit about trigger objects?
To trigger objects, we had cat balls, we had K2 meters, we had spirit boxes. We had all kinds of there that we can trigger the spirits with.
We also had some crosses and things like that were blessed by a church and minister that we handed out to different PNL BOG team members. So we had a lot of different religious trigger items, and we said prayers before we even started the seance. So and Jessica brought along some dowsing rods. You'll see those in the videos too. I don't know if you want to explain those, Jessica.
Well, the purpose of the dowsing rods, it works like similar to an EMF reader. It picks up energies as well as it can answer yes, no, maybe questions. The idea is to be able just to connect with the energy in a different way. I'm very adept at using dowsing rods. So the ones that I have, and I don't have them with me right now, basically are the handles are a metal tube, and out of that metal tube are two sticks that stick out that are copper, and they basically stay straight most of the time unless they're being active, and then they'll either cross or uncross or stay straight depending on the question. So cross for me is a yes, uncross is a no, and straight ahead is I don't know, maybe not this answer.
Right. And we also had the laser grid. I don't know if you wanted to mention about that, Jonathan.
Yeah, we had how can I explain this? We had a laser grid in the room that we set up the equipment to see if we catch any like shadows or anything, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Taylor, you were also connected during the SD session to a spirit box. Do you want to explain that method, Taylor, or what that is, so when they're watching the video, they know what's going on?
Yes, of course. So this method is where you have headphones on, you have your headphones connected to a spirit box, and you have a blindfold on, and the people around you are asking questions, and whatever comes through, I have to spit it out.
And Jessica was under SDs also. And, Jessica, you want to talk a little bit about your method? I know each medium is different. Some people can see or hear, or what's your method?
So I'm what they call a clairaudient. So I actually hear, and sometimes I'll see. So there's some clairvoyancy as well. My primary modality is clairaudio or clairaudient, and basically I'll pick up messages that are coming in and be able to put them out. The messages that I receive are not like conversations. So it's not like I'm having a conversation with my grandfathers this past. It's more like just single words or double words. And then in my mind, they'll show me like visuals, like types of clothing that they may be wearing, or that gives me kind of a general idea of the time period that this person existed in real time. So
yeah, thanks, Jessica. And Jonathan, you helped support with the video cameras. Taylor, you had your own camera that we did when you did your solo in the basement. Athena was filming, and Dan in tandem during the seance upstairs, from what I remember. And then after we did the seance, just so you get an idea of what we did that. Then we split up into two teams. We had the alpha male team go in the basement with the special guests Mike, John, Taylor, and Dan. And then the Bravo team, the female team, stayed on the second floor and continued with the seance in more depth. And then we came back, and then we did the solos, Project Fear style, and picked from a cup of the museum hotspots that we thought maybe they were. But just so you know, before all of this, only the items, hotspots, were revealed to me. None of the team members, none of the mediums like Jessica, Taylor, John, Mike, Athena, or Dan knew anything about those hotspots. Only myself and Donna. So for when we did the cups, drawn from the cup, I know Dan wanted to go in the basement, but we said, let's just let the house choose. The house chose Taylor. So Taylor did a solo in the basement. Jessica, you were on both stairs, right?
Yes, that is.
Yeah. And Jonathan?
I was on the second floor.
And then we had myself and Donna stayed in the seance room and kind of continued with that. And Dan was in the prayer garden over where the nuns were. And then Athena, she was down on the first floor, and Mike was outside around the museum, around the old church replica also. And then after that, we did the debrief, and Donna revealed all the hot spots for the community that Noah and Donna already talked a little bit about. And then, of course, we came home and we reviewed all the devices, the video evidence for EVPs and Polaroid pictures, and blew them up and looked at them and see if we could see anything. I know there was one picture, Polaroid. Donna, do you have that with you?
I never saw that picture. I don't remember seeing it.
I think Mike probably has it, and yeah, we can do a still shot and send that to you. It's on the Facebook Go Live one. That's where you'll see those. So without further ado, what I had planned to do was pull up some of the videos and show you some of our evidence. So I'm going to go ahead and start presenting stuff and pulling up some of the videos, and I want the team to comment. But what I'm going to do first is pull up some EVPs. I'm not going to tell you what it says. I want you to tell me what you think it says. So let's pull up some. I'm just going to go into the files here. Taylor, I was able to convert the trail cam over.
Oh, that's good.
So these videos that I'm going to pull up are trail cams. Taylor, don't say what you think that they say. I just want everybody to be real quiet and listen in and see what you think it says. I'm just going to pull up. Well, I got a bunch of them here. 1 second. I'll pull up a good one that's really good, Class A, that we found here. 1 sec. We got a lot of orbs downstairs, but we also got a lot of different EVPs. How about I'll just start and go through them all? I'll just, instead of the EVPs, I'll just start with the with some of the orbs. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, so here's one of Mike, and he is downstairs in the basement. I'm just going to pull this up here. And you're going to see an orb fly out of this and into Mike's head. I thought that was interesting. See that? Replay? Yeah? Okay, I'll pull up another one. No comment from the... I'll pull up a different one. I got lots more. That's only just a little teaser. That's only... Okay, and then I'm just going to start going through it. There were a lot of different voices or names that came up. Some of these names may be significant. If you write them down, maybe you can find out. A name kept coming up, Agnes. You'll hear Taylor at the very end. He said, Agnes. Did you want to make any comment on Agnes, Taylor?
Well, Agnes is a spirit there that I still doesn't understand where she came from, but she whispered in my ear along with the spirit box saying Agnes.
Yeah, there were a couple of different places. And then later on that night, Dan was over in the prayer garden, and you can hear Dan in the background. I'm just going to remove that one. And okay, here we go. Now you can hear Taylor saying, oh my God, but if you really listen carefully, you'd have to like boost the audio. Dan is over in the prayer garden, and we have an app. Do you want to explain like what's going on with the app, John?
It's called Zolo. It's like a walkie-talkie app for your cell phone, so all the team members can communicate with each other, and a
Oh.
bunch of names came up.
Yeah, so Taylor was down doing his solo. Taylor, do you want to continue what you heard on that?
Well, basically, I heard footsteps, voices. I seen shadows. The scariest part is when we caught an EVP saying St. John's.
Okay. So I wanted them to figure out what it said themselves, but that's fine. You just revealed what it said. Here it is here. You're going to have to listen closely. I'm going to boost this up to 100% over here. Maybe that might help. I'll play it again. After Taylor says, "Can you make a noise?" you should be able to hear it. One other thing I noticed, just also the temperature decreased, because when you went downstairs, it was 28. Then it went down to 26 when you were doing your solo downstairs, Taylor.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear that one?
Yeah, I heard it.
Noah and Donna are very quiet up there. I'll just keep giving the evidence. I think that they're very quiet. Yeah, I'll just keep throwing some videos up here. Here's another name that came up. There was another name that came up. I think it was Josh. Do you remember that one, Taylor?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Okay. I'm going to take these off of the studio. I'm just going to keep giving some evidence. And we also had something come up about Dan's necklace. I'm just going to show it to you, or we can wait until Dan comes back. Donna, there's one. There's Mike's necklace. There was something we can tell you about Dan's necklace later, but that was significant later on. They did not like his necklace. Now, Mike was talking a little bit about the cat ball. Do you remember that, Donna? Do you want to talk a little bit about that? There's you turning off the light. And after you left, Mike comes over and he opens the door and goes back up, and the cat ball's going. See, he opened the door. Remember what he said to you? Mike thought that Athena was up here at the top of the landing. There was a cat ball, and we were all upstairs. You guys were the only two down there because we went to go lights out, right?
Right.
And that's not the only time that cat ball went off. It went off another time.
Can you replay that one more time?
On this one, you're not going to see the cat ball. This is just showing that just you and Mike were downstairs.
Okay.
Because you don't see it, or you can't because the door is closed, right? But there's another one that I have that I thought was really interesting. I'm just going to take that one off the stage.
Okay.
take this one off the stage. There's one here that you'll find interesting with the cat ball and an orb. It was very interesting. Let me find it. Okay, so what you're going to see in this one, at the very top of the stairs, I thought the door was closed. Jonathan says the door was opened, and you'll see Taylor's downstairs doing a solo. There's a flash of light at the top of the stairs, and then a light, an orb comes out of the ceiling from the kitchen, goes down in the basement, and goes back up to the kitchen. It's kind of interesting. See the light flash? Orb. I'll play again.
Which is not a cat ball.
That wasn't?
That was not a cat ball.
What do you suspect that was?
A cat ball doesn't do that kind of light.
Flash light.
It doesn't flash and go back off.
And as you'll see later, Mike had some really high EMF readings right here, and he kept going over there trying to figure it out. And Taylor, you spiked high EMFs right here. So let me just remove these items and put up the EMF. Let me put up the EMF. Here's the EMF. Taylor stops right around here and says, "Stop touching my EMF." It's just loading there. You'll see Taylor show up around here.
Stop touching. Thank you.
So that's where the orb went, around there. And then Mike and Dan were over here and got some high EMF readings. Let me get that one. Here's Taylor with another EMF spike. Is it the same one? No, that's the same area we're in. You said, "I don't know," and walked away because you couldn't figure out why you were spiking high there.
Yeah.
And I'll just pull up the one of Dan and Mike trying to figure out what is going on with the EMF over in the corner. There it is here, Mike. Just takes a second to load the video. So you see Mike is holding the EMF detector. He's trying to figure out why it's so high over there. And that's exactly where the orb kept coming in and out right there. Donna and Noah are very quiet up there. They're just watching. I have to delete some of these videos to get more videos up on the stage. There's a few more orb videos that I want to show you that I think you might find interesting. And while I'm pulling those up, I'll show a picture of Taylor running up the stairs. You can tell him why you're running up the stairs, Taylor.
Ooh, okay. I look like a zombie that just cracked these pens running up the stairs. But the reason why I'm running up the stairs is because I seen a face in the elevator.
Ed, do you want to describe that face? There was a picture that you drew of that face. Do you still have that?
Yes,
Can
I
you hold
do.
it up? Yeah, hold it up to Jessica. Because she saw somebody upstairs. I want to know if she thinks that's the same one. Now it's kind of to hold it up as close as you can. I know it's a ridiculous looking face, but do you remember what you saw or thought you saw upstairs, Donna? I mean, Jessica?
I saw so many different things. I'm not sure. I do know around the time that we were kind of wrapping up our solo runs, I got the message that Taylor, you need to be out of the basement. And so we were in the process of calling you, I think, as you were already upstairs.
Yeah. I said, Taylor, check in. Now, in regards to that face, I wrote down some things that you'd said. He was kind, nice eyes, probably past around 70s or 80s. He had really nice shiny shoes, nice clothes, fairly modern clothes, nice eyes, kind eyes, was a kind. And you said check with the community about him maybe.
Because he was a musician or an organist or pianist or yeah, he had sort of musical connection.
We had a strong pianist come in. We'll show you that soon. I'm just taking these off of the stage and I'm gonna. That's when Taylor saw the face in the elevator and we told him to come check in and come back up.
But the key that kept coming for in regards to that individual was the shiny shoes, like really took pride in shining his shoes. So definitely like to have a shiny shoe. And the clothing style was 80s suits, like 80s blacks and shirt. And
so I'm just going to show a couple more orbs and then we'll go back upstairs and talk more about what Donna had come through in the seance area. These are just a few other orbs that we caught. See that one? And they all shoot up in the air. Isn't that flies don't go up in the air in through the ceiling. Watch this. So something about right here and over there. I'll play it one more time and then I've got a lot of other ones. Now, they were also picking up really high EMF spikes along these. And you can kind of see one of them was traveling there. There's another one we caught. They're actually traveling along this, which is interesting. Let me go ahead and pull those up. There's a lot of background noise. Maybe somebody can mute theirs. I think it might be Taylor.
Hold
on 1 second. Video file. Okay. Okay, we did that. I just want to make sure you see all the footage. Okay, this one is on the stairs. I think Taylor was looking at this earlier. Comes like from around here and goes towards us. If you could see that one. Let me remove that one. Almost done with the orbs. I think this was an orb comes from the ceiling and goes, and then Dan goes upstairs. I don't know if you saw that. Comes down. And if the trail cam, the great thing about this is that it's night vision and it's very dark down there. They did tell us several times we live in the shadows. They didn't like all the lights upstairs on the first floor. The men were trying to do an investigation there, and we couldn't turn those lights off. And they kept telling them we live in the shadows. Okay, so this one is interesting. The guys are talking, I'll show you the video later, about China. And there's a lot of activity. See that coming down the hall right behind Jonathan? The guys were over here somewhere talking about the China, trying to figure out what's going on. So it comes from the kitchen. As soon as there's something about, they says, be careful. It's like it don't want them to break something. Did you want to talk about that, Taylor or John?
It said don't break it or something like that, because I can't really remember.
Yeah, I have a Dan's video. I can pull that one up. But for some reason, the orbs, whenever they were talking about the China and something about over by the boat, there's what's in the glass over by the boat.
It was a really strong energy over by the boat that kept on pulling me towards the boat.
Mm-hmm. Remember how I said the orbs were, Mike kept getting high EMFs in these water pipes? Watch the orb going along the water pipe up there. Watch this. I'll replay it. There we go. Let me replay it. See it?
Yeah, I was in the background.
Yeah. Different. Because later on you'll see, maybe Taylor, you can talk a little bit about that because Dan is not here to talk about. I'll pull up the video to Dan's video of over in the basement crawl space. But do you want to tell them what you saw in the crawl space before you open the door or after you open the door?
Yeah.
Yep.
So after I opened the door, there was a figure standing there. It was, I'd say, 10 to 8 inches tall. Black mass. But I did feel something evil there as well.
Well, there's a video here. You can hear Taylor shouting out something. You're not going to attack nobody. What's that about, Taylor?
It said that it was going to attack me.
Yeah, it didn't want them in the basement. Now, upstairs, right, Donna? Excuse me, I keep saying Donna. Jessica, upstairs, we didn't feel that, right?
No. The only time where we got that message was towards the end of the solo, but no, we got that upstairs. Upstairs was very active. I picked up on 16 coming and going.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on.
I'm gonna show a different video. It's Dan. It's his video. I guess first I'll show the crawl space, and then I'll go back upstairs to where the laser grid is. Right, Jonathan? That one was pretty hot.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, down here in the basement, the crawl space. I'll open that one.
Right, so I want to follow you, Mike.
This is Dan, and
watch out for nails. There's yeah.
This is where you saw that thing, Taylor?
Yeah.
Now, Mike and Dan got a lot of high EMFs down here.
All right, well, let's just see what happens here.
There was also some newspaper wrapped around one outside over here that they kept getting really high spikes from. And they were doing Polaroids.
This kind of piping, but that's water piping for sure. So why is that? Unless the water's electrified, which I doubt for a museum, no reason it would be. The other.
It literally just said I died right here.
Where did it say that? Let's go look. Do we want to go? What were you getting ready to? I'm just going to do a little pass over here just for shits and giggles. I'm going to go back up with them. Yep. I'll take a
It
little
said I
sit here.
died right here. Do you remember that, Taylor?
Yes, I do.
That could have been my phone.
Yeah,
Could have been
me
my
too.
I think later on it said I was hung.
No, it's not. It's replicating it. Give me.
No, it didn't say that on mine.
See the high EMFs they're getting? Mike is scanning Dan. For some reason, Dan kept spiking.
Weird. It was very weird.
Dan kept going off for
Mhm.
mine and his.
Yeah, it was something to do about his necklace. So Dan is a skeptic.
Wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Wait and see what?
Wait and see came up. So the beeping you hear is the high EMF spikes.
Fuck. That was me being a dumbass. My bad. This is like. That is.
Because at one point we were thinking maybe it's the newspaper itself.
I visit what? You visit with who? Where?
So Taylor has his app going. Taylor, do you want to explain to them what app you have going?
So it's called the Spirit Talker. It communicates with spirits by saying words, and the spirits can say what word they want to do, like what want to say.
And you also had another necro app, wasn't it?
Necrophonic.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing now, the necrophonic.
Who's here with me? What do you mean I visit? And what do you mean you're going to attack? You're not going to attack nobody. You've got to understand this. You're not going to attack anybody.
I'm pretty sure.
That's Jonathan filming Mike and Dan. I know it's very dark. It's hard to see. And there's Taylor stood up over there by the china around here. This is when we started getting the orbs on the trail cam. When they started, when they were around the china and stuff.
Did you show yourself to Mike?
Dead.
All right, I want to speak
Children.
now to the other thing.
He's switching back now to the different app, the Spirit Talker.
Who's here? Anyone else feel weird?
Can't breathe. Figured that was the mask.
I figured it's the mask, but you know, we're also, I'm just gonna say it, there is, just from the debunking point of view, there is a whole pile of electromagnetic force coming off.
Hold on, I'll join back in a second.
Yep. Just mute yourself.
No, I have to.
No, Taylor's going to mute himself.
No, I actually have to leave.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can fast forward some of this. They're trying to debunk why it keeps talking about that area. So then they come upstairs, and then there's something, Noah, about this area, right, Jessica? Or are they upstairs or downstairs now? I think they're upstairs. Okay, they're over in the room. I think this is where Taylor left, but he saw something in the kitchen over there.
Yeah, he said he saw a priest.
Because he comes running out of the kitchen screaming, "Oh, hell no." There was a priest in the kitchen making a cup of tea.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then it says, "This is our home."
I saw something in the other window. I figured it was a traffic light, though.
And it said, "We live in the shadows." So that's why, Donna, they came up and said, "Can we turn off the lights?" Right? Because they didn't want to come forward without see all the light, right? So they were trying to figure out what to do about getting rid of that. So that's that. So I'm going to take that off the stage, and then I'll put the laser grid back up on the stage. Let me just put the laser grid part up on the stage, because I think you may find this interesting. This is where a lot of the evidence comes through. You're going to hear EVPs. You may see shadow figure in this. Now, somebody is standing here. I do believe that's Dan. Donna was sitting here. I was here.
She has some questions for you, as do our team members. We're going to have our...
Now, I will say this. Whenever it seemed like a negative entity or something was around, Donna started coughing every time. The entity that was around that said, get out or stay away. So if you need to sneeze or cough or anything like that, just mute yourself so people can hear.
Team members here who are both mediums. Mr. Taylor over here, you can see in the background. And just you could both have a seat. We are going to put them under the Estes method. Other team members who don't have anything in their hand, they pick up an item, whether it be a dowsing rod, EVP recorder, spirit box, whatever you have. Just for the non-living, this is the year 2024. I may look a little bit funny with my hair. Is no disrespect at all. We don't mean any disrespect in this house.
Excuse me.
We are going to and do some different methods.
So that's some of the candles and stuff there you can see set up. This is a laser grid that we were talking about. When we start going under the Estes, Taylor's here, Jonathan's back here, Jessica's here, I'm over here, Mike is over there, Athena's over here, Donna's here. When Taylor shouts out, "Leave me alone," I want you to let me know if you see anything here.
Do y'all want the laser grid turned off or left on?
Oh, keep it on. Okay. For the non-living who are listening, when we ask you a question, we want you to extinguish one of those candles if you can respond to us. For example, if we ask you a question and it's yes, please extinguish the yes candle. If it's no, please extinguish the no candle. If you don't know, please extinguish the I don't know candle. We will relight the candles after each question. I do have some
Let me fast forward a bit here.
all my spirit and physical aids here with us today. My name is Jennifer. Here you. I saw you turn the light on in my candle. Thank you. I'm going to ask another question. My name is Jennifer. You can use the yes, no, and I don't know candles. Are there people?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You see that? The grid turned
I saw
on?
you turn the light on in my candle. Thank you for doing that. Can you turn the light off in my candle over here? Okay, that's fine. We can leave it on during the thing, that's fine. So, Donna, can you ask another question, please, that you would like to know?
The grid went off again.
Father, can you hear us?
The grid turned on.
Thank you, Father. Sister, can you hear us? Are you here also? Or any employees who work here? Father Clark, if you're here, please extinguish your yes candle.
Fat? No.
Yes, I'm fat. Sorry.
No, it sounded like it said fat.
Father,
Okay.
Sack or something like that.
Father Troy, are you here with us today?
No, the grid went off.
Come forward and talk with us. We don't mean any disrespect. It's the year 2024. We want to interact with you. We want to find out.
Leave me alone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But we're going to be here a little while. We do have permission from the museum curator to be here until 10 o'clock. I hope you don't mind, and we don't mean any disrespect whatsoever. Would anybody else like to ask a question that they have?
Now, I have another angle of that where he says, leave me alone. Like, this is Dan stood here, but Athena's over here and she's shooting this way. And on that angle, it looks better. I'm going to take this one off the stage and put Athena's up there, and you will see something moving. And Athena's audio is actually better. Just 1 second. While I'm looking for that, do you want to make any comments on that, Taylor? You said you felt something there?
I felt something there when I said leave me alone. I felt like there was something there. Which was, the energy was kind of strong. It's hard to explain, basically. For me, it's hard to explain.
I'm going to click this one. I think this is the one.
No disrespect. She's.
That's not the one, but I'll go back to it. This is the dosing rod.
Yes. Yes. She was just recording things. Did you stop her device? Yes.
So Athena was recording, and near the end of the recording, I mentioned something about Athena. And Jessica, do you want to talk about that? I think maybe you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
You'll have to help me remember a little more context.
Her camera cut out, and I asked it, did you cut out the camera? And the dowsing rod said yes.
Yeah, the dowsing.
Her device? Yes.
I'm just going to put up a different video because that's not the video I wanted you to see. I'm just going to put up the one with the grid, with Athena's grid video, because you can really see something going on there. I think it's this one.
I want to be visible. The softer energy is coming in and suggesting that.
I'll leave this on. This is
The main spirit isn't necessarily speaking.
Jessica talking about some of the spirits she can feel coming forward.
So that's what was coming through.
So there was a lot of different stuff coming through.
There was a lot of different stuff.
I have a coin, a yes or no coin that we could try to tell.
That's not the one I was looking for. Sorry. Do you want to talk about some of the other entities that you felt came through, like the boys, the children?
There was twin boys forward. One was much younger and one was older, so it showed me that they passed away at very different times. So one passed away as a child, one passed away much older, almost into adulthood. They came forward. They were kind of curious what was going on. They just had a very youthful quality about them. I had a nurse come forward. I'm assuming it's a nurse. They showed me a hat, kind of like World War I style field hat. So it led me to believe that she at least served a bit of time overseas during World War I in relation to healing and working with veterans. Then I think there were a nun, it could have been a nun or a housekeeper, but they worked very closely in the house. They worked at housekeeping and cleaning and used the back stairs, not the front stairs. And she kept going up and down the stairs and going, "This is where I was working." Um, so that, I think maybe her name was Bridget. I think that came through earlier in the evening.
And there were boys, right? There were a set of twins.
Yeah, those were the boys I was talking about. There was one singular boy that I saw very clearly that had like shorts that were just above the knee with little suspenders and a white shirt on. But he was different than the twins. So the twins were.
Jessica, I have to ask Noah a question, or Donna. Did the police come to your museum about 2 lost boys?
Not that I know of.
Okay. In the community, there was a lady who knew somebody who I guess recently moved in or something who saw 2 boys who fit the description of what Jessica described. They were dirty, lost, one older, one younger. It's strange because we asked, "Where are you coming from?" And they said, "From the graveyard." And I asked, "Was it the graveyard where the nuns were?" And they said, "No, the Torbay beach." And I said, "Oh, you must have a nice view over there." And yes. And we also asked, "Do you want us to mow the graveyard behind the prayer garden, the one that's not kept up?" They said, "No, leave it the way it is." They like it like that. They don't want that one touched over there. But in this video, here it is down here. I just want you to see if you see anything in the grid, but there were a lot of EVPs that came through of children playing with the cords next to me. Somebody tapped me on my back. Somebody told me I had a big bruise on my back later.
Actually bringing in energy as well. Okay. So I'm not sure.
That's not the one. Sorry. Keep going, Jessica, on the different people. Or Taylor, do you want to talk about anything?
No.
I'm looking for.
Good.
One second. Maybe this one. Let's try this one.
So we got very distinguished.
And so the convent is. It's a beautiful place. Very beautiful.
Anywhere here that you don't like.
So when we were talking about several people in the museum, they knew who you were, Noah. They really knew who Derek was. I really liked him. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Donna?
I had asked if the entities were interested in or happy with the fact that there was a lot of music around, and that they were doing a lot of children's programming. And so they had replied with the rods, because we did yes or no or I don't know questions. And so it was, were they happy with the music or the fact that Derek would hum or sing while he was here? And they indicated yes. So that's mostly what I remember, is that they liked the fact that he was happy here.
Yeah, I like that they really knew who he was.
While we're doing this, Donna is going to ask you a few questions. So she's here with you. And long living, step forward to us in this room. Jonathan, you can
Not sure if this is a different angle.
over by the stairs and welcome them off the salon.
But I have everything on MP3 that you can have a copy of instead of sifting through it.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, it used the laser grid a lot, and I know that there was a couple of things that came through, a lot of different EVPs. I don't know if you remember with the spirit box, Taylor, a lot of the things that you heard coming through.
Definitely.
Yeah, you want to tell them some of the things that you remember? I have some things highlighted, and I've got like the timestamps written down. I just need to find the actual file. But I know the laser grid kept coming on and off when we asked about different fathers. And you said, leave me alone. And then the laser grid stayed on, but then a huge shadow figure went across it. And you asked, is it Bridget here? Taylor said it depends. And then we heard you could hear like a female voice. And then when it was said we were going to break it off into 2 groups, you could hear an audible EVP, and Taylor said, oh, I just heard gibberish. And then while we were saying a moment of silence and a prayer, there was another audible EVP of music on the spirit box. And when I said, thank you for coming forward to talk to us, Taylor screamed, ah, and you could hear like something audibly scream. That's why I was looking for that video. And then Taylor said, something's trying to come through. I can't understand it. And then I said, we heard somebody scream, are you okay? And then we heard like there's an audible EVP of like a little boy. And then the laser grid kept going off, and Dan said it was fully charged, and he had to go change his batteries. The batteries just completely drained when we heard that like little boy EVP come through on the video audio. And Taylor said, is someone tapping me on my shoulder? Then we could hear an audible EVP of somebody screaming. So that's why I wanted to pull up that one. And then we did hear a lot of little kids. And I think, Jessica, you had felt, like you said, the little children were very strong coming through. And you had seen some people on your solo in the stairs?
Well, I kind of hard to explain because I didn't quite see anybody, but I was communicating with someone going up and down the back stairwell. There was a lot of energy on the front stairwell, but I didn't really see a lot in. I thought I saw a light kind of cross over by the banister on the bottom. We're trying to figure out where the source of light came from, but we were never able to quite determine where it is, and I don't think it was caught on any camera.
Yeah, and then I asked, can we stay till 10? And then Taylor shouted out, because he was still under Estes, he shouted out now, like really loud. And then you could hear like audibly, like an EVP scream on the video, which was interesting, I thought. And that was when he was using the spirit box. And well, during Athena's videos, we asked, do you not like the mummers? They opened, no. And then we asked about religious stuff here. Is that enough? No. Do you need more? Yes. Can we go explore in the kitchen and have a Newfie scoff? I said no. And then, of course, whenever we went around the kitchen, that's where you saw somebody, right, Taylor?
I know that the kitchen area right by the stairwell, when I first walked into the building, had a lot of energy there. And I knew that was definitely an area of very, a lot of activity. So as you enter into the house, you go straight. I think the elevator is right there, and next to the elevator is the stairs. Is that correct, Donna and Noah?
It's you come in the house, You guys came in the side door, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you go past the stairway, and then straight ahead of you is the elevator, but it's the entrance to the elevator is on the right-hand side, and then the kitchen would be on the left-hand side. So the entrance to that is open. The elevator doors are shut, and so, but the back staircase is open to the kitchen and then leads to the elevator doors too.
Okay. And that's the area that I picked up a lot of energy just when I first even walked into the house. So I knew that that was a definite area or hotspot of activity. And that
Yeah, it was.
that came through with my dowsing rods as well because they were very active.
And remember, Donna, you had asked, is something what brings you here to the museum? Is it the children that brings you to the museum? And the dowsing rod said yes, that it was the children. That do you like the fun? Yes. Jessica, other spirits are here. Yes, they also enjoy the children coming to the museum. Yes. And then you started asking about, who likes knocking on the doors, ? The twins. I asked, are you behind me? Jessica said yes. I could sense and feel somebody behind me tapping me. And then audibly on the video, you can hear people walking around. And Jessica asked, how many people are here? 9 different spirits. One female was behind me, Bridget. She said, then I heard an audible child though. But then the energy shifted, and then we had mentioned 30s, brown hair. This must be the bone, older, wiser, nice smile, something about the eyes, green eyes. And then we started feeling like Taylor wasn't safe downstairs in the basement. And that's funny because you can see in the videos, there are other videos on the trail cam that I didn't pull up. I said, Taylor, check in. Are you okay? And that's when he saw the face in the elevator and he ran upstairs. And then he runs back down later. I can show Taylor's video, but on this one, you may be able to hear some of the audible feet and stuff walking around.
But there's 16 spirits here.
16.
In this room or in this house?
No, in this house. In this house, there's 16.
But
Not all of them are in the same area at the same time.
Right, I thought you guys visited from the graveyards.
There are some that came in from the graveyards. Little boy especially came in from the graveyard.
What attracted you to come here from the graveyard?
The light.
Yeah, we're usually not open late, so this is.
Yes, big strong yes.
Yeah.
Do you like that we're here late?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't mean to disturb you. We will be leaving soon. We were going to go do some solos if you don't mind. Maybe you can talk with any of us then. Is that okay?
If I back it up, you might be able to hear the footsteps.
But there's 16 spirits here.
Back up further.
She was just recording things. Did you stop her device? Yes. Okay. Are you still with the boys downstairs?
No.
I haven't guessed.
Well, okay, depends on who. There is spirit downstairs with the boys. But there's 16 spirits here. So
that's that. And I'll just throw up some of Taylor. Taylor, do you want me to put up your any of your solo? There it goes. It's just loading.
Boy Taylor back with another video.
This is Dan is in the background on Zello reading from the Prayer Guardian.
We're listening.
Taylor, are you in the basement?
10-4.
This is when we started getting the strange feeling that when you said
walk towards me.
you felt uneasy down there.
Careful in that basement, Taylor.
I will.
Okay.
I'm sitting down. Can you make a noise to show yourself or walk towards me? For I know that you're here.
Said we're listening. What was the other thing? So, Taylor, you said there was something about this room. There's the ship. There was something about that area where it said, "Be careful." And the ship right there. And then the orbs started coming down over the stairs.
Are you in here? Where are you? I feel you down here. We can use this. Are you in here? Do you see where I'm going? I'm going in this room. You see where my light is?
So it'd be interesting to know what it is about that ship and whatever's next to it.
Jessica, one of the artifacts that's by that ship is a pump organ.
Oh.
That's it.
Participate.
It wanted Taylor to participate when we were talking about the prayer
What do you
garden.
mean by participate?
That's interesting about the organ, Noah, because an organist came through. We had sang a song, and one of the EVPs was music. That's why I was trying to find that video.
Hello?
Do you know who owns the pump organ?
Who's in here?
I'm not sure. It's one of two pump organs in the building, but it's pretty nondescript. So unless you knew it was a pump organ, you wouldn't know what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think he likes the mask.
No, but then he tells you about what he saw downstairs.
There's a big old virus.
Oh, as soon as you walked down over the stairs, and another name came up, Noah. That's why I kept this on. Iris? Does that name sound familiar?
No, that name's not known to us.
That door is so squeaky.
That's the door that would
Classic.
slam shut when.
That's where all the orbs were coming through and the light flashes.
Iris? Who the hell is Iris? Who is Iris?
Could have been one of the, well, Bridget came through a couple of times, right, Jessica, for the nuns? And
I got
Donna,
the yeah.
Can you tell me who Iris is?
There was a housekeeper, actually the first housekeeper who would have worked in this building. Her name was Bridget.
Bridget.
And there were some nuns named.
And there were some sisters who served at the convent who were named Bridget,
I
but
bet where the
the
ship
the
is.
very first housekeeper,
Can you come
live-in
with me?
housekeeper here, her name was Bridget.
Was she older and did she have her own child, or do you know?
I don't believe she had children. I believe she was unmarried pretty well her entire life. She wasn't here very long. She was maybe only here for maybe 2 or 3 years. She actually died on the SS Caribou when it was torpedoed during the Second World War.
Oh, wow.
Okay. There was one that came through who was a nun, but she was older and she had a child at some point in her life. But she was much younger when she had the child. So I don't know how or if it's possible to track down those records. I do know that it is possible to be a nun in the Catholic Church after having a child, that not all nuns are childless. As it's a way of being able to secure themselves financially, especially if they come from a large family and they become widowed. That's often what older women would have done, is join the nunnery.
Yeah. So I guess I can try to find that video and make sure it's on the thing that I sent to you. And I don't know if you want me to go through the whole video of the debrief, because Donna was there. I don't know if you wanted us to play that, or because you were there when we recorded it, and we'll give you a copy of that. Is there anything else that the team wants to share as other evidence? I know Athena, when she was by herself on her solo, her light actually, she said, came on by itself while she was setting up the spirit box. And Taylor, didn't you say that when you were in the basement, when you came upstairs, you saw that light come on? I think he went somewhere for a second. But yeah, when Athena was setting up her light, she said it went off.
I moved to a different room and put the flashlight down, turned off. Obviously I can't prove that, but I hope you'll take my word for it. I was setting up the spirit box.
That's the spirit
and the
box.
light came on.
So when Taylor came up over the stairs, you saw it come on.
Turn.
But she was still setting up. She didn't have her camera set up at that time. So, is there any other evidence, or do you want me to play back any of the other evidence, like the debrief stuff that Mike and everybody went through?
Do you want that, or you can?
I haven't heard.
Donna is here. You want to introduce yourself? I can show you that. Yes, this is the video here.
I work here at the museum.
Taylor.
Hello, I'm Taylor. I'm a medium.
He's with the BOG team, the Boots on the Ground Paranormal NL team.
There's Dan Earl, a resident skeptic, tech guy, just along for the ride with slowly diminishing my skepticism.
He's with the Paranormal NL BOG team, Boots on the Ground team.
I'm Athena. I'm just here to film and enjoy the experience.
Yep, you want to get in the...
Yeah. I'm Mike. I have a show called Terror Nova coming out this fall, and I've been asked to join as a little guest for this, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being with us. Next. I was doing the go live here. That's why people are talking to this.
I guess the connection between the teams, so, and the museum.
Jonathan?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Noserby. I'm just here with the team.
He's a part of the BOG team, Boots on the Ground team. Hi, I'm Jen. I'm your host of Paranormal NL Podcast. Thanks for being on with us. The team now are going to give us their evidence review. and we will compare it with the allegations of the museum. Just so you know, the team was not given any information about this museum or the mediums. They don't know anything about it before they started their investigations. Let's start with, without further ado.
So I just had spirit come to me in different forms. I had the name of Malachi, so that's either a book of the Bible or...
Did anybody look up Malachi? Jessica, did you look that up after?
Malachi?
I didn't look that one up. I guess we can look that up and provide more.
Significant, a name for a person that came forward. There was also a Bridget. There was also a set of twins. The twins that passed away, one was much younger, died as a child, and the other one died as an adult. There was also a gentleman that was an organist or pianist that came forward as well. He wore relatively modern day clothing, so I'm thinking he passed away in the 70s or 80s. Really liked to shine his shoes, gentle soul, quiet, but really was really good with the music. He came through as well. And then there was also a Bridget, who was a nun. He used to walk the hallways here on a regular basis. She joined being a nun actually later. She wasn't a virgin. She did have a child. The child was not of any sort of incest within the community. It was her husband passed away, and she joined the convent later in life. So that's the information that came forward to me in my investigation.
Also had some other things come forward when you went to go do your solos when Dan was out. Dan was given a history reading off of some of the things, and our dowsing rods were wildly confirming, and our pendulum. And when we sang a song, I was being tapped on my shoulder and smacked in the head, and they were tapping this. My microphone, they were laughing because I was so off-key. They really enjoyed the music. They said they really enjoyed the religious stuff. Well, let's move on. Jonathan, any evidence with you? You were just a team support member. Yeah. Okay, Taylor is next, our medium.
So, when I was downstairs, I seen a shadow in the elevator. I heard footsteps. I heard a breath behind my ear. For some reason, my K2 meter kept on going off. Very, very high. It was no idea why, but I heard voices. I seen one of the priests in the kitchen when I was downstairs on the first floor.
Our dowsing rod said that they didn't like you down there.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, they just gotta deal with it.
Anything else you want to share about your solo?
I love this team.
Oh, thank you. Everybody's excellent work. Dan.
So,
the dowsing rods didn't like Dan's, what were you wearing? Can you show us the light on?
So I say the most significant, and where we actually had, there's a recording we have, thanks to Mike, of the EMF meter going near this axe. It's a replica of the Vikings axe. On the back I described 3 runes, Tyr, Con, and Awaz are all related to Norse gods, and I'd say a good, 2 minutes before that EMF, and it only went off on the axe, so that was kind of alarming.
We also had a moment with the same sort of thing where we were downstairs in the basement, and at that time the EMF also, just like as we were, like I was kind of walking past you and it went off, and we couldn't figure out what caused it and couldn't replicate it then, but when we came upstairs that happened.
Were you here when Taylor said he heard somebody get cut up by an axe?
Yeah, I did. It was because that was in the spirit box. That was in the SD session. You said it sounded like somebody getting chopped up with an axe. Yeah, I remember saying that.
It literally sounded like someone was like,
Well, it's a replica of a bearded axe with actual Icelandic runes, so that might have had something to do with it. Further, I tend to wear the Vegvisir and the Valmir, which is a symbol for fallen warriors. Most of which I didn't expect much from it, being a skeptic, but the axe definitely sent me off. Further to that, out in the circle we had outside. A lot of the names we heard down in the basement, including Agnes.
This was your solo, right?
Yes, during my solo.
Where were you? In the,
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's called, like
the prayer garden?
the prayer garden. Yeah.
Which is a grave?
There's nuns are in the corner, and then it's the Stations of the Cross around them. But
Right,
there is a burial. Yeah.
That's what Mike described, and one of the names we heard in the basement is listed out there as a nun having passed away. So
When you said her name, my bronze went berserko. And when you read off the memorial out there, everything, my pendulum started going around, and the dowsing rods were crossing.
So that's
Can
probably,
you show up your thing that they didn't like earlier? What were you wearing?
So this is a metaphysical protection from fairies, created by my friend in Alberta. So it's actually has sacred stones in it, as well as a sacred circle, and so it's a protection.
Okay, they didn't like that either.
No, they don't like being protected.
Anything with your solo?
Okay, so I'm going to put something else up on the stage there. Did you want to add anything, Jessica, about that Malachite name?
I just looked it up, and it just basically said it was messenger of God. Seeing if I can't do a search for Malachi in Newfoundland, and there is a whaler that was named Malachi. He was American. He was named Malachi by the Innu because they couldn't pronounce his name. So that's interesting. So I wonder if he came by the area sometime. Whalers often worked in Newfoundland, so
True.
otherwise I have a reference of Malachi, Newfoundland or Torbay than this one reference.
Yeah, you can get that going too if you want. If it's no, please extinguish the no canvas. He's here to protect us. And
Okay, so this is the better video.
Besides this is Jennifer, and we've introduced ourselves earlier. Thank you for being here. Donna, I would like you to ask who is here with us today.
May I ask what's your name?
So it's
I'm
using
going to ask another
the
question.
laser
My name's
grid.
Jennifer. You can use the yes, no, and I don't know candles. Are there people?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I saw you turn the light on in my candle. Thank you for doing that. Can you turn the light off in my candle over here? Okay, that's fine. We can leave it on during the thing, that's fine. So Donna, can you ask another question, please, that you would like to know?
What? I don't know what to ask.
Father, can you hear us? Thank you, Father. Sister, can you hear us? Are you here also? Or any employees who worked here? Father Clark, if you're here, please extinguish the yes candle.
Fat? No.
Yes, I'm fat. Sorry.
Jen. No, it sounded like it said fat
Father
or
Fat,
sack or something like that.
Father Troy, are you here with us today?
But I like how it's using the lights, the laser grid. You see
You're
that?
welcome to come
You say the word
talk with
father.
us. We don't mean any disrespect. It's the year 2024. We want to interact with you. We want to find out.
Leave me alone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But we're going to be here a little while. We do have permission from the museum curator to be here until 10 o'clock. I hope you don't mind, and we don't mean any disrespect whatsoever. Would anybody else like to ask a question that they have?
We had some housekeepers. The only name that we're aware of at the moment is Bridget. The housekeeper that used to be here one of them was named Bridget.
The housekeeper who used to be here, her name was Bridget. Bridget, are you here with us? Are you able to extinguish a yes candle or a no candle? Or I don't know, is Bridget here?
Depends.
Depends.
You're welcome to come and talk with us, Bridget. We don't mean any harm or anything.
That's a spirit box.
After we do this, we are going to break up into 2 different groups, and we're going to try to further communicate with you.
This is where it gets
We'd like you
angry.
to share whatever you'd like to tell us. Do you like that we have a lot of religious items here in the museum with us? Our dowsing rods are moving. For the dowsing rods,
When they're out, it's down. When they're crossed, it's yes.
do you like that we have some religious items here in the building for you? No, you don't like that? I know that there's a lot of different religious people here with different religions. Yes. Okay. Would you prefer just only Catholics be in the building? Yes. Are you upset that there's people in the building who are not religious doing activities like music and different cultural events? Do you wish that there was more Catholic things in the building to represent you during your life, Father? Do we have permission to walk around and talk with you more today on the first floor, in the basement? May we visit you? Yes?
Something screamed there.
May we just sit in peace right now, everybody?
Now you'll hear some music.
In your own mind, say a little prayer.
That's not us.
Donna would like to ask another question, Father, or Sister, or employees.
We have a lot of children that come over to the museum and bring a lot of joy. Is that acceptable?
Yes. Do you like the children being here in the museum? Does that make you happy? Yes. Can we stay a little longer? Do you mind? Yes? Okay. Yeah, we like to talk to you too. Thank you for coming forward to talk with us. Where's the other dowsing rods?
Ah!
Al?
How's the screen?
Somebody screamed? Is everybody okay who's here? I heard somebody scream.
You're going to hear
Cross
kids.
for yes, not cross for no. I heard somebody scream. Are you okay?
Did you hear the kids there?
You're pointing at Donna? Would you like Donna to ask another question? Donna, do you have another question that you'd like to ask?
We enjoy
Something is trying to come through, but I can't understand it.
Okay, we're going to ask another question. Come through, come and talk to us.
Jennifer, we're having the same issue again. That laser grid's gone.
Laser grid to drain the juice. It's okay, you can drain what juice you need. Not a problem, we have lots of batteries.
It's fully charged. It's not charged.
Donna, would you like to ask your question?
We enjoy working here tremendously, and we would like to continue and eventually grow a little larger with more children's activities. Would that be acceptable?
Did someone just tap me on the shoulder?
They're pointing at you. Is it okay to have the children's activities? Donna wants to know. Can you cross my rods for yes? Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Spirit box is talking.
Please come forward and talk with us. They crossed for Donna, yes. Okay. Is that a yes for you would like to see more children here? Taylor, do you hear something?
It's speaking gibberish.
Okay, it's pointing at Taylor. I know you're trying to say something to Taylor. Are you okay?
Someone keeps tapping me on my damn shoulder.
Oh, go back under. They're pointing at you. Jonathan, do you want to ask a question? That's my husband, Jonathan, behind Taylor.
83?
83.
Is that number significant somehow, Jonathan? What does 83 mean to you, Jonathan? Anything?
Nothing to me.
No. Laser grid came back on.
Do you want, can you tell me my age?
Just before we go on, I literally am about to die any second now. My battery's almost done, so.
Oh, on your phone. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say goodnight, but thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you guys on the 19th.
Yes. Okay, thanks for being on the show tonight, Jessica.
Good night.
Good night. So, Noah and Donna, do you have any other questions for us? Well, I can give you the copy of. Let me take this off the stage. I can give you the copy of it so you can schmooze through everything, all the evidence. If you got questions, you're more than glad to reach out to us. I've got some Polaroids to give to you also. I don't have the Polaroids that Mike did or any of his videos that he took outside, but I can try to get those from him, or you can reach out to him yourself and see if you can get those. But do you have any other questions that you can think of right now?
Not at the moment. I think there's definitely some historical digging that we need to do.
Yes, a lot of names came up, Noah.
So I think there's some interesting work for us to do on our end, and we'll keep in touch. As folks in the building continue to to have their own experiences, and as stuff comes to light.
So I'm going to take Jonathan off the stage. Thanks for being on, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. So, yeah, it was great that you got to meet the team, and too bad that Athena and Dan couldn't be with us tonight, or our special guest, Mike. But I really appreciate you asking us to go to your museum to look and see. There definitely is a lot of activity there. Again, benevolent all upstairs. Downstairs, I know that, Taylor said he saw a face and whatnot, but that face didn't move from the elevator, and I think that's a benevolent one that goes up and down the elevator with you. And the orbs that came downstairs, I think they're trying to protect the china, and something about the room with the organ in it over by the boat. We did have a merchant marine come through also. Could be something about something in that room, or something delicate that they're trying to protect. They said, be careful.
In the basement.
In the basement, yes. Yeah, in the storage area there. So, yeah. So if you have any other questions, again, we're more than glad to, come back and we can talk a little bit more. But I'm going to stop the recording, and then don't leave yet, because I just want to go over a few more things about the other event that we're doing. And well, thank you again for having us there, and we hope that we helped ease some of your fears. How do you feel?
It makes me curious to research more information to find out especially with the names. So I think that that's an avenue we haven't really explored yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think that will really help out the museum too. When you have people come in, you can, if you were able to get more information about these names and things like that, that would definitely help out for the historical aspect of people walking through. But thanks again for having us at the Torbay History House and Museum. We really appreciated being there. And I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.